Hi, you guys. How's everybody today? It is a rainy day here in New York City. Hang on just a second. If you are joining me, let me know that you're here. I always like to see who's on and listening and whatever, chatting. Um, I'm talking about compassion today. Um, this week, well, this month is goal setting month or what's your word month and why am I yelling? And hi, Joy, I just missed you. Hi, Nikki Pebbles. Uh, Joy, it's so rainy and gross, right? Joy, I'm gonna watch your replay because I really wanted to hear what you had to say today. So today we're talking about compassion because, this week is, it's going to be a week for a lot of people. And I feel like we need to have a theme. And I know that we're setting goals and we're talking about our words and all that kind of stuff in the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group. And yesterday we talked a little bit about, teaching our children, and we talked about Martin Luther King, and we talked about all, like all the meaning behind, spreading love and sharing love. And so today we're going to talk about compassion. And my quote today on Instagram and in the social media circles says, if your compassion does not include yourself, it is incomplete. And I think, for a lot of us, especially if you're a parent, it's easy to teach and, show others compassion. We're teaching our kids, we're talking about it, we're preaching it to our children. Be kind to others, be considerate, take into account, um, never, assume anything about anybody. You have to walk a mile in their shoes before you can, before you pass judgment, all the kind of stuff that we tell our kids every single day. So important for them to be aware of their surroundings and what is going on, in other people's lives as well. I always tell my kids, pay attention. Don't pay attention to, just what's happening right in front of you. You have to be aware of your surroundings at all times. And I think it serves a greater purpose than just where you are physically, but I think it also serves a purpose for where you are mentally and, where it's going to take you and where it's going to, take your kids in the future. So that's, like, it's easy to preach. It's easy to talk about compassion. It's easy to show an example of it, charitable giving, helping somebody else, holding a door open, helping somebody in a time of need, sending food to a friend who's, having a hard time. Those are all things that we do to show compassion. But what happens to ourselves? Like, how are we practicing compassion on ourselves? Here's my point. Hi, Jackie. We tend as women, first of all, and there will probably be men watching this at some point, so I'm not going to discount you either. You have feelings and you matter. But as women, we tend to beat ourselves up about a lot of things. And, I'll be the first one to say that, I have no problem looking in the mirror and pointing out all the bad stuff, the gray hair, the, wrinkles that are happening around the eyes, the whole thing, right? Stuff that you want to change. Except, I said this last week, it's all part of your story. So take into consideration the way that you want your story to be written, right? Do you want to erase all of these things? Do you want to cover them up? Do you want to not acknowledge it yet? Like, you're not, like, I'm definitely not ready for the gray hair, so I'll be covering that shit up until I die. Sorry, that's just how it is. But I think that we don't take ourselves into consideration when we're practicing compassion. And so I was thinking about it and I was like, so how can we do this? How do you practice compassion on yourself on a regular basis? And it kind of came to me as something easy, because it's something that we can incorporate all of this into a regular day. And it's something that we should be doing. You should be able to take a break. Practice compassion on yourself by taking a break. Step out of a situation if you're feeling uncomfortable, if you're feeling like you need a little bit more time to get something accomplished. Don't beat yourself up about it. Take a break. Feel like it's okay. forgive yourself. We are not always going to get things right 100% of the time. I will be the first to admit that I am wrong a lot. Um, have some grace. My friend Holly said it perfectly this morning when she did her word in our Facebook group in our challenge today. Her word for the year is grace, her 2017 word. And practicing grace is something that, it's not just, it has a religious connotation, yes, if you are of that realm, but also it's, learning how to lose gracefully or treat or act gracefully or treat somebody else with grace. I think that when you are forgiving of yourself and you are forgiving of others, you are stepping into a state of grace. And so I thank you, Holly, for giving me that word, because I think it's very important to be able to forgive yourself. Forgive yourself for, not losing the 5 pounds when you wanted to lose the 5 pounds. Forgive yourself for answering no to an invitation that you may have, an expectation was that you were going to go to the party. Like, you can't do it all of the time. And when you realize that, a lot of weight comes off your shoulders. So feel free to take a break. Please forgive yourself. Practice self-care. I cannot stress this enough. I know that you guys hear me talk about this all the time, but it's really important to have some kind of self-care routine because that is going to help you be a more compassionate person. Even if it's reading a book at night, if it's taking a bath twice a week, if it's, going for a walk without any kind of distraction, so you can have a conversation with yourself in your brain about forgiving yourself, about finding your grace, about being compassionate for yourself, because we spend so much time being compassionate for other people, including our children and our spouses and the people that we are parenting with, that we oftentimes forget ourselves. And then my last tip is going to be to let it go. In the esteemed words of the Disney creators of Frozen, just let the stuff that is literally sitting on you, that's sitting on your brain, that's sitting on your heart, that's sitting on your mind, just let it go. It really will do you a world of good to be able to. I don't care if you do it you have to write it down and put it in a piece of paper in a bowl and light it on fire. I don't care if you have to remove yourself from a relationship. You have to take a break from that because it's just weighing you down. There's a lot of stuff going on in people's lives that most of us are not aware about. And we don't know what happens behind closed doors with our friends, with our families, even with some of the closest people that we have in our lives, right? So we have a tendency sometimes to get caught up in the stuff. And when you have the ability to just take a stand, think about it, and take a step back and remove yourself from a situation and let it go, because it really probably 98.9% of the time has nothing to do with you. You're worrying about stuff that you have no control over. And listen, we're parents. So the stuff that we worry about, we have like 100% no control over. I have no control of my kid after he leaves this house every morning and gets on a bus to go to school. No control over that. I have no control of my other child who is in the care of his teachers and his daycare people until I get him back in my, in my grips at 5:30 at night every night. I don't have control of where my husband is on his way to work or what he's doing between the hours of whenever and whatever. I don't have control of any of these things. I have control of myself. That's pretty much what I have control over. I have control over my business. And that's really only to the extent of what I'm putting into it is what I'm going to get out of it. So dwelling on, sitting on, talking about, overanalyzing, reading into is doing way more, especially if it's a negative situation, is doing way more harm than good. So practice some self-compassion by allowing yourself to walk away and let it go. My Google Calendar just popped up and now I'm going to lose my thing. Sorry. Sorry. I have a call in exactly 10 minutes. So those are my tips. Take a break. Practice some self-compassion by taking a break. Forgive yourself for whatever it is that's weighing on your mind. Practice, self-care. Make that part of your compassion routine for yourself. Practice some self-care and let whatever it is that is bothering you go. It will make a world of difference in your life. It'll make a world of difference in how you perceive your day. It will just change your perspective on things. That's that. So it's a rainy day in New York City. We are 2 days into the Why Am I Yelling challenge this month. Joy, you should get in on this. In the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group, we are picking, there's one person a day, and they are choosing their word, and they are communicating their word to the group, and they're doing a post in the Facebook group. And so yesterday, my friend Heather, her word was treasure. Today, my friend Holly, her word is grace. I am going tomorrow. I think Thursday is open. We have a couple of days. So I might reach out to you, Miss Dublin, because I'd like to know what your word is for 2017. And that's it. So if you're not in the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group, get in there. We are over 600 strong, and there are quite a few people in there who are very active and very participatory, and it's super fun. And Jackie always puts up good, fun stuff in there. So join us, join the challenge. There's a lot of great stuff happening. And I think I mentioned it yesterday that I think maybe in the middle of the year, we will check back with the people who gave us their words for this year and find out where they are on their word journey, because I think that might be fun. Maybe in June. Jackie, we should put that down for like maybe our June challenge. Anyway, let me know how you're practicing your self-compassion, because that is very interesting to me. I want to know. And let me know, get into the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group and let me know if you're interested. I'll give you a day. We've got 4 days left. So I'll give you a day. You can put your word up. You can tell us all about your word, what you want it to mean for you for the year, and what you're going to use and what you're going to do with it. Other than that, I hope the rain stops. But I do think that it's bringing in warmer weather. So that's exciting. Oh, there's Jackie with the Why Am I Yelling Facebook group. I love you so much. And I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. And don't forget, practice some self-compassion today. We all could use a little bit. Mwah. Love you guys so much. Have a great day. Bye.